What if the biggest move of the Warriors week isn't the one anyone's talking about yet? What if the front office just tucked a quiet advantage into the margins, one of those under-the-radar decisions that doesn't trend at noon but wins you a game in March when the legs get heavy and the rotations get weird? And what if the hint is hiding where Golden State has always been sneaky strong? The pipeline between the big club and Santa Cruz. The bridge where role players are carved, timing is learned. And careers tilt upward because the system fits like a glove. You can feel it in the way the conversation around the Bay shifted over the last few days. Less drama, more detail. Less go get a splashy name. More tighten the edges, add skill that slots into what we already do. That's not the stuff of talk shows, but it's the lifeblood of an 82-game climb. The Warriors have never only chased fireworks. They've hunted the small gears that make the whole machine hum at playoff speed. Here's where we're going today, without spoiling the headline until the right moment. We're going to unpack the front office's logic on perimeter length and decision-making. We'll dig into why positional versatility and connective passing are the currency that keeps this offense on the rails. We'll talk Santa Cruz minutes, 0.5 basketball, and what the staff really values when they hand out minutes in April. We'll map realistic roles, not fantasy depth charts, and we'll talk cap, two-way mechanics, and conversion paths when production forces a hand. Before we do any of that, welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report. If you live for the details that turn good teams into tough outs, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop a like so more Dub Nation sees this before the noise swallows the nuance. Around here we honor the banners and study the footwork. Let's reset the frame without naming names just yet. Golden State's offense is a choreography. Dribble handoffs that function like screens, split cuts that punish ball watching, ghost actions that force bigs to think while the ball whips 2 beats ahead. To survive in that world, you need players who make the next pass without blinking, stretch to the corners with true gravity, and defend in space without fouling. That last part matters as much as the first two. The Warriors won titles by pairing skill with discipline, and they don't hand minutes to anyone who can't carry both. Depth is not a buzzword. It's math. The regular season eats possessions, and the wrong 5 minutes on a Tuesday can cost you a seed in May. Golden State's margin lives in the second unit's ability to keep the shape of the offense intact. If the bench touches look like the starter's touches, if the ball still sings, if the weak side stays alive, if the read is made one tempo early, then Steph checks back in with less to fix and more to finish. That's the difference between chasing and controlling. Two-way slots are the organization's quiet laboratory. The CBA turns those contracts into a low-risk, high-information test drive. Keep a player in your building, in your language, in your drills. Let Santa Cruz hard-coach the details. Bring him up for certain matchups. Discover what sticks under pressure. When the fit is right, conversion becomes a formality and the rotation gets a little younger, a little fresher, a little smarter. When it isn't, you move on without crippling your flexibility. The skill blend the Warriors crave from those spots hasn't changed. A wing who can guard up a position and hit a corner three without needing the ball. A secondary creator who can dribble a handoff into a paint touch, see the low man, and throw the pass on time and to the correct shoulder. Neither role needs 18 shots. Both roles need instant translation. You give Steve Kerr someone who understands the grammar of this offense, and he finds them a sentence to finish. And defensively, it's about small switches that don't leak, tagging the roller with conviction, shrinking the floor without surrendering the back door. Golden State's best defenses have always been 5-man puzzles. Talk, early help, verticality without panic. If you can stay in a stance and think quickly, you'll last. If you can't, the league will find you in 90 seconds. One more layer before we put names on it. Santa Cruz isn't a waiting room. It's a finishing school. That's where the footwork gets ironed. The reads become muscle memory, and the bad habits get coached out with reps you can't get in the big rotation. The call-up guys who stick almost always arrive from the G. with timing that looks like they were here all along. Now the headline you came for. The Warriors are moving to secure new two-way contracts at Alex Tui and Pat Spencer, tightening the developmental spine between Golden State and Santa Cruz and betting on two very different, very Warriors-wide kinds of value. Let's talk profiles, because that's what this is really about. Alex Tui reads modern, rangy forward size with a wings coordination, a clean base in the catch and shoots, and enough handle to attack a hard closeout without dribbling the ball into trouble. He isn't a give-me-the-ball-and-watch scorer. He's a possession improver. He slides into empty corner actions, triggers a dribble handoff, flips his hips, and becomes a screener without losing advantage Warriors basketball 101. On defense, the selling point is geometry, length that bothers pull-ups, timely digs, and comfort switching across the 3 to 4 line without fouling out of the action. Tui's value in this ecosystem shows up in the possessions that don't make highlight reels. Slot him in the weak side corner and he reads lift versus drift correctly as the ball penetrates. When he faces a top lock, he doesn't fight the defender into a stalemate. He back cuts with commitment, forcing a rotation that opens a cutter behind him. Give him a 45 cut lane and he doesn't over-dribble one gather. 2 long strides, finish through a chest, or spit the ball out to the shooter who followed the cut. This is the stuff that lets the Warriors stay the Warriors even when the stars sit. There's a path to minutes for a player like that doesn't require volume scoring. Think second unit lineups with a primary creator who draws 2 to the ball, a spacing big who loves dribble handoffs, and a wing who screens and slips like a guard. Tui's job is to keep the advantage alive for 0.5 seconds longer than the defense expects. Hit the corner 3 at an adult clip, stay out of foul trouble. And every bench stint becomes easier to script. He'll need to tighten predictable counters. NBA defenders will sit on the first right-hand bounce and test his balance through contact. The finishing package must add a quick-release floater to punish deep drops. And on the glass, turning contests into team rebounds is non-negotiable. But the curve is there, and the environment in Santa Cruz is tailored for exactly this type of wing to grow. High repetition motion, reads on reads, mistakes corrected on Tuesday, and measured again on Thursday. Pat Spencer is a different riddle with a delicious Warriors answer. He's a connector guard, north-south juice, strong frame, and eyes that find the third option as naturally as most guards see the first. His two-sport background shows up in his balance through bumps and his love of angles. He understands how to occupy space, so the help has to declare itself. Then he passes to the spot before the defender realizes he's committed. It isn't showy. It's effective dot in a Kerr system, a guard who can start a dribble handoff, turn the corner, and hit the slot cutter without picking up his dribble is a schematic multiplier. Spencer excels in that in-between terrain. He rejects a screen when the on-ball defender jumps early. He keeps the dribble alive, probes a step longer than comfortable, then tosses a left-handed wraparound that looks simple only because he set it up for 5 seconds. Bench units need that patience. It keeps the rhythm, lowers the turnover rate, and creates layups without demanding isolations that break the structure. Defensively, his frame and competitiveness let him guard across smaller lineups without hemorrhaging matchups. He won't erase elite pull-up shooters, but he will fight over rear-view contests and tag the roller like a pro. On a team that values gang rebounding from guards, his willingness to crash and immediately outlet fuels the Warriors' best version of themselves. Defense into early offense before a set even has to be called. There's a reason this front office keeps a close eye on players who thrive in chaos and then simplify for others. When the ball finds Spencer, the possession tends to end on time either at the rim, at the line, or with a clean catch and shoot for someone else. When the second unit leans too heavy into your turn, my turn, he bends it back toward our turn. Let's situate the pair inside the broader plan. Two-way deals give Golden State the freedom to keep both in the building, knit them into the language of this offense, and test combinations in Santa Cruz that mirror the big club's actions. Tui can log real minutes next to a stretch five and a movement shooter, while Spencer runs the same split-cut sequences the varsity team uses, with the same reads and the same accountability. When the call-ups come, the translation cost is low. There's also the calendar reality. The 82-game grind demands fresh legs and plug-and-play decision-making on the fourth game in 6 nights. If Tui is already comfortable as the weak side stay-high option and Spencer already knows the cadence of the delay action on the second unit, Kerr can buy rest without punting style. A handful of clean bench minutes matter more than a January headline dot. So what does success actually look like for each guy this season if these new deals go as planned? For Tui, it's a steady 20 to 25 G. League games where his corner three stabilizes in real volume and his defense avoids cheap fouls on switches. It's 5 to 10 NBA call-ups where he knows exactly which 2 actions he's on the floor to execute. For Spencer, it's a turnover profile that stays responsible while the paint touches stay aggressive, plus a defensive tape that has more contested without fouling than late and reaching. The box score won't tell the whole story. The film will dot none of this happens in a vacuum. The Western Conference won't wait. Opponents stack jumbo wings and pull-up creators for a reason. Golden State's counter, historically, has been to flood the floor with players who think fast and make each other better. The idea behind these moves is to keep refilling that pool, add a wing who smooths possessions and a guard who strings them together, and the identity holds even when the names change. There are risks, and we'll be adults about them. Two-way bets can stall if the shot plateaus or the pace of NBA processing never quite catches up. Footwork that wins in Santa Cruz needs to hold against playoff switches. Guards who see the third option have to keep their dribble under championship-level ball pressure. But the downside is small, and the upside is exactly the sort of edge this franchise has lived on. Rotation help grown in-house, cost-controlled, culturally fluid. The intangible layer matters too. Players who come up through Santa Cruz arrive with the vocabulary already installed. They've been yelled at for ball stopping. They've been praised for cutting hard even when they didn't get the ball. They know that something as simple as the timing on a flare screen is the difference between a contested long, 2 and a corner 3 that makes the bench stand up. That familiarity shows up the first time they share the floor with the core. Let's talk fit snapshots. Picture Tui closing a quarter with a second unit. He's in the weak side corner. Lifts to the slot as the drive comes middle. The kick hits him in rhythm. And the mechanics don't change ball pocketed. Feet set, high release, 3 on the board. Next trip, the defense top locks him out of the corner. He back cuts into the dunker spot, receives a pocket pass, 1 gather off 2 feet, bump, soft finish. Not spectacular, repeatable. That's what you want. Now picture Spencer in a delay action. He pitches to the 5, sprints into the handoff, turns the corner, and the low man takes a half step too far toward the roller because Spencer's shoulder threatens the paint. The ball is already gone skip to the opposite corner, catch and shoot 3. Next trip, same look, but he snakes it, keeps the big on his back, and flips in a short push shot because the drop never fully committed. Again, not a mixtape winning basketball. From a roster building perspective, these are the exactly right gambles. Low cost, clear developmental plan, traits that your system amplifies. And outs if it doesn't click. If either player pops, the conversion conversation writes itself. If both hit a steady level, your practice reps get better and your scout team looks are closer to real life. That helps the stars prepare, which is the quietest and most valuable currency in the league. Accountability is the final non-negotiable ingredient. The Warriors don't let the two-way label become a hall pass. If you blow a box out, you sit. If you hold the ball, you get a lecture. If you defend without your hands, you get praised in front of the room. That clarity is how a young player's confidence grows without turning into entitlement. You know why you're on the floor and exactly what will get you off it. And yes, there's a business layer. Two ways help you manage the cap without starving the rotation. It's how you hold upside while respecting the books. Keep pathways open for February and avoid overpaying for a seventh-man skill set you can grow yourself. That's not cheap. That's smart. It's how you chase now and protect tomorrow at the same time. Zoom out and you see the same. Warriors thesis we've watched for a decade. Bet on intelligence. Bet on skill that scales. Bet on players who love the boring parts of winning. If these contracts land where they're aimed, Alex Tui and Pat Spencer add 2 more bets to that pile one, a long wing who oils possessions. The other a guard who strings them together until the defense breaks on its own. This is the part where I hand you the mic. Would you rather the team use two-way oxygen on a high-ceiling wing and a connector guard? Or would you push for a veteran insurance policy with fewer development reps but a higher floor today? How much do you value Santa Cruz chemistry that translates immediately to curve sets? Do you see a path where either of these guys forces a conversion by spring? Tell me below, what role do you want them to own by the All-Star break, and what would success look like in your eyes? My view, and this is my opinion, not a report, is that securing new two-way deals for Alex, Tui, and Pat Spencer fits exactly where the Warriors win their margins. It's the right kind of quiet aggression with upside that matches the system. And while this remains speculation until the paperwork is formal and the transaction law prints, it's a kind of speculation that makes basketball sense.